Now, this quotation in this video, of all the quotes from the social engineers of history telling you what they are doing to you and your family, this one is probably the most revealing, the most eye-opening of them all. It's Bertrand Russell, 1952, in his book, The Impact of Science on Society. Before I get to the quote, when you hear this, you tell me, does this explain the society we live in today, or what? Why are people so incapable of critical thought? Why does it seem like it's psychologically impossible for them to question the powers that be? This is what Bertrand Russell says is coming. You're going to hear it in the quote. He says, we will get them to the point where it will be psychologically impossible for them to question. It is to be expected, says Bertrand Russell, that advances in physiology and psychology will give governments much more control over individual mentality than they now have even in totalitarian countries. He's saying in the West, through enlightened social engineering, what he calls the scientific dictatorship. That's his term for it. He calls it the impact of science on society. This isn't science like in a laboratory. This is on society. This is social science, social control, social engineering. His term again is the scientific dictatorship. They will have such a stranglehold over the minds of the masses. We are the ones that pull the wires that control the public mind. He says we will control the group mind and they won't even know about it. Through media, and in this case, in Bertrand Russell's quote, you're going to see it's through the schools, you get to this point where people become totally controlled, and it's more power than even communist totalitarian societies had. He says governments will have more control over people's minds through psychology and physiology than even the most powerful totalitarian societies. Let's read on in the quote. Fichte laid it down that education should aim at destroying free will. Now, I know you've heard that quote in other videos. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't heard that. Johann Gottlieb Fichte, the spokesman for Prussian-style schooling in the early 19th century, industrial-era schooling. He's the one that said, the purpose of true education is to destroy free will. We have many quotes like that, like 99 students out of 100 are going to become automatons, and they will be docile and thoughtless. These are the kind of quotations we've covered already, but he's reminding us what Fichte said. Educational systems, so-called, a good schooling, getting schooled, is going to produce this, destroying free will, so that after pupils have left school, they shall be incapable throughout the rest of their lives of thinking or acting otherwise than as their schoolmasters would have wished. He's saying this is what they're building toward with this technocratic social engineering system. They're going to make it so that people are incapable of thinking. Reading on in the quote. Diet, injections, and injunctions will combine from a very early age. Now pause right there. From a very early age. You've heard other videos. Again, subscribe to this channel. You've heard the videos where it's Hillary Clinton. It takes a village. From the ages of 3 and 5, we will have sparkling classrooms with full day programs. And you've heard the cable news lady saying, these are our children. We need a collective view of parenting. We've had this private idea that children belong to their families. You've heard we're going to collect the children from the families and shape them on the social needing board. They say the plea in defense that the child is my child will not be accepted much longer by society. Quote after quote after quote. I won't redo them all right now. Watch the other videos, but we got to hear the rest of this quote. Listen to what he says next. Diet, injections, and injunctions will combine from a very early age to produce the sort of character and the sort of beliefs that the authorities consider desirable, and any serious criticism of the powers that be will become psychologically impossible. Now, I believe that with God, all things are possible. Break your conditioning. Get out into nature, home educate your children, do practical, real things, read history, know your Bible, and know prophecy. Because what he's describing here is a technocratic future that we are living in now that snowballs and avalanches into a whole world wonders after the beast scenario. Antichrist, mark of the beast is coming. Keep watching the videos on prophecy on this channel. You'll be warned, you'll be ready. Fix your eyes on Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith.